And just take your knees apart, big toes together, reach forward, and just use these few moments to kind of just ground yourself. Start to come to your breath and kind of use this as just a transition from outer world to the inner world. Starting to lengthen your breath, maybe coming into an Ujjayi breath, taking long, deep inhales through the nose, long, deep exhales out through the nose. As you're exhaling, just slightly constricting the back of your throat and just kind of feeling or hearing that little audible sound at the back of your throat. Using that breath to just kind of help you really be present, to help you focus. Taking a moment to just kind of feel and notice the environment around you. So noticing the sounds, outdoor sounds of the wind, waves, morning sounds of the city waking up, maybe the birds, the feeling of the air, sun starting to rise, and embracing this, the possibility of rain, and embracing all of this as part of the experience and part of the practice this morning. So in this Ashtanga-based practice, we'll move through a set of sun salutations, sun A's and sun B's. Then we'll do standing and balancing poses, and we'll move through some seated poses and then finish with some closing poses lying down. So when you're ready, just make your way up to your hands and knees, and we're going to move through a few rounds of cat-cow pose, just kind of going at your own pace. So just spreading out the fingers, inhaling to drop the belly, lift the tailbone, look up, exhale to round. So just moving with your own breath, finding whatever movement kind of feels good just to warm up your spine and your back. Taking your time, exaggerating the movements. And we'll do one more round of cat-cow pose. And then when you're ready, making your way into a downward facing dog. Spreading out the fingers again, tucking your toes, lifting the hips up and back, and really just stretching out for this first one. So just finding any movement, heel toeing the feet, just checking in with your body, waking your body up. Maybe bending the knees a lot or coming up onto the tiptoes. And then we'll just walk our feet up to our hands for a ragdoll forward fold. Feet either close together or hip distance apart. Spreading out the toes, lifting up through the hips. Relax the head and neck, relax the shoulders. Maybe sway side to side. Inhale to come to a half lift, straightening the legs, drawing the shoulder blades back. Exhale, folding forward deeper. And then next inhale, either reach the arms out to the side or forward, but just lengthen through the arms. Good. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're just going to pause here And just take a moment to set an intention for class, or maybe just remind yourself of something you're grateful for. And then from here, we'll start with our sun salutations. So inhale to reach up, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold forward. We're doing 3 sun salutation A's. Inhale, half lift, drawing the shoulders back, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, coming to a plank. Rolling down nice and slow, either to a cobra pose or an up dog. Drawing the shoulder blades back, taking your time. Making your way into downward facing dog, settling in here, resetting for about 5 deep breaths in this pose. So we'll be here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bend the knees, look up to your hands, and step your feet up to your hands, coming into a half lift. Inhale, exhale, fold deeper, and then next inhale, make your way all the way up. Lengthen through your arms, extended mountain pose, reach. Good. Exhale, hands to heart center. Same thing again, moving with your breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hinge and fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, make your way back to a plank. Lower down, elbows hug your ribs as you move down to an upward facing dog or a cobra. Good. Coming into downward facing dog, settling in. 5 deep breaths. Relaxing your head and neck, chins towards your chest for 1, 2, morning, 3, 4, and 5. Bending the knees, looking up to the hands, walk, step, or hop, feet to hands, half lift. Inhale, exhale, fold, and then inhale, come all the way up. All right, good. Exhale, bring the hands down. So last one, just moving at your own pace with your own breath without me talking on this one. All right, and from here, we'll start with our sun salutation B. So sitting back for chair pose, we'll do 2. So inhale, reach up, draw the shoulders back, and then exhale, fold forward. Half lift, inhale. So moving through a Vinyasa. Coming into downward facing dog, reach the right leg up and back, 3-legged down dog. And then bring that right knee high to the chest, right foot through between the hands. Spin the back heel down, setting up for warrior 1. When you're ready, make your way up. Lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands down, moving through a Vinyasa to the other side. So stepping back to a plank, lowering down, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, reach that left leg up. Straight leg, heels up towards the sky. And then bring that foot through between the hands. Spin the back heel down at the same time. Coming up to warrior 1. Good. And then exhale to make your way down. moving through a vinyasa, or you can always just come straight to downward facing dog, skipping the vinyasa. 5 breaths. And downward facing dog, always an option too. Instead of down dog, you can come to a child's pose, just deciding what your body needs. We'll be here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bend your knees, look up to your hands, feet to hands. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. And then sit back, we'll finish in chair pose. Inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale to make your way all the way up. So we're going to do one more, same thing, sun salutation B. So inhale, sit back. Exhale, fold forward. Half lift, inhale. Bend your knees, plant your hands, coming to a plank, lowering down. Making your way into down dog and then 3-legged down dog. Right leg reaches up. And then when you're ready, bring that foot through, spin the back heel down, come into warrior 1. Just briefly, and then cartwheel the hands down. We'll move through a vinyasa again, or just step back to down dog. Left leg reaches up, 3-legged down dog. And then we're going to bring that left foot through between the hands, warrior 1. Good. Exhale to make your way back down. Moving through a vinyasa, or just coming to downward facing dog. We'll settle in, downward facing dog, 5 deep breaths. We'll be here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bend the knees, look up to the hands, bring the feet to the hands, coming into a half lift. Exhale, fold, and then inhale, sit back, finishing in chair pose. Good. And then come all the way up. Shake it out. We'll take a little pause here. So that's our warm-up. Maybe grab a drink of water. All right. So we're going to go through a set of standing poses. So we'll start with standing forward fold. Feet about close together, just hips distance apart. We're going to hinge from our hips, take our peace fingers around our big toes. So bending the knees a little if you need to. Lift up through the hips, elbows come out to the side. Bring your chest down or stomach down towards your upper thighs. We're settling in here, 5 deep breaths. Lifting up through the hips to get lower. Bring your body weight a little bit forward so you're not sitting back in the heels. From here, inhale to just draw the shoulders back, lift up the head and chest. Exhale, we're going to go further. So you're going to lift your foot up, place your hand underneath that foot all the way up to the wrist, and then the other hand, bending the knees as much as they need to, and then slowly work towards straightening the knees. And your chest can be on your upper thighs. Work towards just getting the legs a little bit straighter, going a little bit deeper. And then on your next inhale, draw the shoulders back, lift your head and chest, reach or take your hands out from underneath you. You can take your hands to your hips, little bend in the knees to make your way all the way up. All right, very good. So we'll step to the front of the mat. From here, we're going to take a big step out with our right foot coming to star pose, so we're to the long edge of the mat. Arms out nice and long, and we're going to turn to face the back of the mat. So right foot faces the back of the mat, back foot turns in 45 degrees. We're coming to triangle pose. So reach forward with your right arm and bring the right fingertips either to the ankle, the shin, or all the way down to the mat. Long straight line between the arms. Pressing towards the bottom hip, spinning that top hip open. Coming back to your breath. 5 to 6 deep breaths in each pose. Lifting up through the core. And then on your next inhale, make your way back up to star pose. Feet face forward, and then left foot turns to face the front of the mat. Back foot turns in 45 degrees. Good. Reach forward, and then bring that hand down either to the shin, the mat. Long straight line between the arms, so opening that right shoulder up. Coming back to your breath, lifting up through the core, not putting too much weight in the bottom fingers. On your next inhale, come back up through center, star pose, both feet face forward again. Turn to face the back of the mat, right foot faces forward, back foot in. Take your hands to your hips. We're going to come to revolve triangle pose. So take your left arm in front of you. You're going to come forward as you reach across the body. If possible, bringing that hand to the pinky edge side of the foot, but if not, just bringing it to the inside of the foot. Revolve triangle, right hand to right shoulder. Slowly start to twist, bringing that right arm up towards the sky, twisting through the center line of your body. Very good. Lifting up through the fingers. Very challenging pose. Coming back to your breath. Good, and then make your way back up through to the center. Let's take a little peek at the sun as we turn to face the other direction. There's this tiny little break in the cloud. Can you guys see it? Oh, there it goes. All right, so setting up on the other side. So hips square towards the front, right arm reaches forward. You're going to reach across your body as you come down. Hand can go inside. If possible, bring it to the outside, pinky edge side, left hand to left shoulder. Twist, spinning that shoulder open towards the sky. Twisting through the center line of your body. Very good. Coming back to your breath. And then on your next inhale, make your way back up through to the center. Star pose, arms out long. Good. Reset. And then take your hands to your hips. We'll take a big step back to the front of the mat. All right. Good. So next, we're going to step out wide again, a wider stance with the right leg. And we're going to turn to face the back of the mat, sitting up in a warrior 2 to start with. So nice bend in that right leg. Back foot turns in 45 degrees, and we're coming to extended side angle pose. So you're going to reach forward with that right arm, and then first level, bringing the forearm above the knee. Left arm reaches up, open towards the sky. Option to stay here. If you want to go deeper, take that left arm forward so the biceps towards the ear. And then option to bring the fingertips down inside that right foot. If you want to go even deeper, you can go for a bind. This is just kind of more advanced, but taking the left hand behind the lower back, bringing that shoulder inside the knee. Arms come around, maybe your fingertips interlace. Looking over that left shoulder, so keeping that shoulder open. Good. You can slowly start to make your way out of the pose. Coming back up through to the center, resetting in star pose, and then setting up on the other side. So just starting out in that warrior two to set up. So left knee's bent, back foot's in a little bit. Reach forward, maybe starting out with the forearm above the knee. Reach the top arm up, and then from there you can go further. Reach that arm forward, or bring the fingertips down. So you can stay here in the pose, or if you want to do that kind of advanced option, bringing that right hand behind the lower back, bringing that shoulder down underneath the knee, maybe going for a bind, looking over that right shoulder. Slowly start to make your way back out, coming back into star pose. And then take your hands to your hips, turn to face the front, big step forward. Good. All right. So next we're going to set up for a wide leg forward fold. Big step back with the right foot. Star pose, line up the heels with the back of your mat just to kind of have something to line them up with. Feet as wide as your fingertips. If you're super flexible, they don't have to be that wide. You can bring your feet in a little bit, but interlace your hands behind your back, draw your shoulders down and back. From here, we're going to hinge forward from our hips. So allow your hands to come up off of your lower back, your shoulders to lift up kind of as far as they can. That's comfortable. Keep getting deeper by lifting up through the hips, working towards getting the top of that head down towards the mat. Bringing that body weight forward a little bit. And then keeping your hands interlaced, we're going to hinge from our hips to make your way all the way up. Good. We're going to do one more variation. So inhale, reach your arms out. Star pose. You can take your hands to your hips. We're going to hinge from the hips to come forward again. And then last variation, your choice, either just walking the hands underneath you. You could take the peace fingers to your big toes as a leverage to get deeper. Or you could come to a tripod headstand, taking the hands underneath you, elbows bend straight back, making your way up. So whichever one you're feeling right now. Deep breaths, staying focused. And then from here, you're going to slowly walk the hands in front of you, coming up onto the fingertips. Half lift, draw the shoulder blades back. And then you can take the hands to the hips, maybe a little bend to your knees to make your way all the way up. And then we'll take a big step back to the front of the mat. Shake it out. One more regular standing pose. So this time we're just going to stay face to the front. You're going to take that right foot back about halfway. We're setting up for pyramid pose, a little bit staggered. So lining up heel to heel, back foot's in about 45 degrees. Take your hands behind your back, either a reverse prayer or you can just grab the elbows. Square the hips, left hip back, right hip forward. Leading from your chest, we're going to start to fold forward towards that front knee. So we have the hands behind the back as the traditional pose, but if it feels better for you or for your balance, you can take the hands forward on either side of your foot. And then keeping your hands behind your back, Slowly make your way up, leading with your chest. Good, and we'll step forward and then step the other foot back, lining up heel to heel, a little bit staggered. Send the right hip back, left hip forward, leading with your chest. Start to hinge forward. Spreading out the toes to really ground through the feet and find your balance. Option to just keep the hands behind the back, or you can bring them forward. Settling into the pose, 5 deep breaths. And then slowly start to make your way back up. You can step forward, shake out the arms. Good. So we'll kind of pause here. Okay, so take another drink of water, and then we're going to move through a few balancing poses and our warriors. And we have a little bit of the sun popping out again from the clouds. You know, it never gets old. It's like, even he lives on his boat, but I always see him stop and take a picture of the sunrise. So, all right, so we're going to start with tree pose. So ground through your left foot to start with. And then to start, you can bring the heel to the ankle, open up the hip, hands to your heart center. So option to come into a tree, lifting that foot up, or just another option is to come to a half lotus. So instead of bringing the foot here, you can bring it inside that hip. All right, if you're in the half lotus, option whatever you want to do with the hands, maybe heart center. One could be behind the back, either reaching up in your tree or your half lotus, or if you're in the half lotus, option to fold forward. Keeping your eyes focused on something in front of you that's not moving to help with your balance. Coming back to your breath. You can slowly bring your hands down to make your way out of the pose. Maybe roll out the ankle, shake it out a little, and then we'll set up for the other side. Same variation. Maybe bringing the heel to the ankle, just coming back to your breath, finding something, focus your eyes on. And then if you want, setting up a little bit further. Taking your time, whenever you're ready, reach the arms up. Maybe open them out wide, or you can keep them together. Just kind of finding your own variation with your arms. And then you can slowly start to make your way out of the pose. Shake it out. All right, so the next one, a little bit more challenging. We'll start grounding through the left leg. First option, knees in line with the hips. Hand can come here and then open up the hip, or take the peace finger to the big toe, straight back. You're going to work towards straightening that leg. It doesn't need to be straight, but you're going to work towards straightening it. Straight back, eyes focused. If you come out of it, no big deal. Just coming back into it. And then when you're ready, we'll open up the hip out to the side. So other hand can stay on your hip, or if it feels better, you can take that arm out as kind of like a counter stretch. Or option to just stay right here in the pose too. Good, we're gonna bring the leg in front of us, straighten out the knee. Keep it up as high as you can with the straight leg. So point the toe. We're gonna hold it here straight back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, shake it out. Good. All right, same thing on the other side. So ground through that other foot. Maybe just staying here and then opening up, or you can try the peace fingers to the big toes, straight back. Don't worry about that leg being straight. When you're ready, open the hip out to the side. Deep breaths. No worries if you come out. You know, balance is harder out here with the wind, the horizon, maybe just the day. All right, we're going to take that foot in front of us, release the foot, bring it up as high as you can with the straight leg. Point the toes straight back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake it out. Awesome. All right, so from here we're going to come into a chair pose and then move through the warriors, but holding them longer than we did at the beginning of class. So bending the knees, sit back, reach the arms up, draw the shoulders back, about 5 deep breaths. And then exhale, we'll move through a vinyasa, so folding forward, half lift, bend the knee, step back to hop back, coming to a plank, lowering down through to an up dog or cobra, and then coming into downward facing dog. We're going to bring that right knee high to the chest, right foot through between your hands, spin the back heel down, kind of check your alignment, so front heel is about in the middle of your back foot. And then when you're ready, make your way up to warrior 1. So knees over your ankle, reach up, draw the shoulders back, settle in, 5 deep breaths, pressing through the pinky edge side of your back foot, good. So we're going to keep our arms up. We're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to turn to face the other side. So right foot comes in 45 degrees. Turn to face the back of your mat, setting up for warrior 1 on the other side. Squaring the hips, left hip back, right hip forward. From here, we'll open up to warrior 2. So right arm comes out to the side, hips square to the long edge of the mat. Good. Energetically squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. And then keeping the arms out long, straighten that left leg, turn that foot in 45 degrees. Right foot faces the front of the mat, setting up for warrior 2 on the other side. And then from here, we'll cartwheel the hands down to go through a vinyasa, stepping your front foot back to a plank, lowering down, up dog or cobra. Coming into downward facing dog. Just a few breaths. Noticing how you feel now compared to the beginning of class. And then from here, we're going to make our way to a seat. So bend the knees. You can stop or hop the feet through at the center, crossing at the ankles, and then coming to a seat. All right. So we're going to set up for staff pose. So bringing the feet in front of you, flexing the feet to really engage the whole leg. Hands come by your side. Draw the shoulders back, and just stack your spine, lengthen through your spine, maybe pressing the hands down. From here, we'll inhale to reach our arms up. And then exhale, we're going to hinge from our hips, reach forward. Take your peace fingers. If they can, reach for that big toe. If not, you're just going to take your hands to your ankles to fold forward. 5 deep breaths. And then inhale to draw your shoulders back, lift up your head and chest. And then we're going to reach our arms forward. Exhale, reach, reach, reach. Just seeing if you can go further. Settling back in for about 5 more deep breaths. And then inhale to draw your shoulders back, lift your head and chest up. Exhale, come up the whole way. We're going to come to reverse plank. So taking your hands behind you, point the toes, elbows bend back, lift your hips up. You're going to work towards pressing the tops of the feet down towards the mat, keeping the hips up high, allowing your head to draw back, shoulder blades squeeze together in the front. And then slowly lower back down. From here, we're going to go through a vinyasa. So we have an optional vinyasa between each of the seated pose. So crossing at the ankle, come forward, draw your shoulders apart, lift up, stepping back to a plank. And then this is where we go through the vinyasa. And it's optional. It's just to kind of keep your body moving between the seated poses. We'll just be in downward facing dog. 1 breath. So 1 deep breath. And then you can step or hop your feet through to the center, crossing at the ankles, coming to a seat. All right, so we'll start with our left foot forward, right foot to the inner thigh. Flex that foot that's out long. Square your hips. Inhale, reach up, lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, hinge from the hips, reach forward to settle in here. 5 to 6 deep breaths. So keeping a foot flexed, engaging through the whole leg. Inhale to draw your shoulders back, lift your head and chest, and then exhale, come up the whole way. We'll switch sides, so just take your right leg forward, left foot towards your inner thigh. Flex that foot, square your hips to the leg that's out long. Inhale, reach up, find length, and then exhale, hinge from your hips. Reach forward to come forward, and then settle in, coming back to your breath. Good, and then inhale, draw the shoulders back, lift your head and chest. Exhale, come up the whole way. So optional vinyasa. If you don't want to do the vinyasa, you can just kind of hang out, take a drink of water, maybe do like a seated stretch. You're doing the vinyasa, crossing at the ankles, coming forward. The vinyasa between the poses is kind of to make it more like a power yoga class, to just keep the body constantly moving. All right, so next pose, left leg out long. Take that right knee, we're going to bend it back. So you want the internal rotation, so if possible, roll the knees in towards each other. And if possible, you want to bring the heel in towards you. But if that is really uncomfortable, it's more important you keep both sit bones down and just stay where you can, flexing that foot. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, come forward. So always kind of just listening to your body in yoga, and with the poses, doing what's going to be best for you and your body, or modifying if you need to. All right, so next inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your head and chest up. Exhale, come up the whole way, straighten the right leg, bend left knee. Setting up, rotating the thighs in towards each other, sitting up tall, flex that foot, reach up, find length, and then exhale to come forward. Next, inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift up. Exhale, come up the whole way, maybe straighten both legs, and then optional vinyasa. In the vinyasa, just one breath and down dog, and then coming through to a seat. All right, so we're going to set up for a seated twist. So left leg out long, take your right foot on top. Option to keep that leg out long. You're still doing the same twist, but if it feels comfortable for you, you can bend that knee back, kind of sitting on the heel. Right hand behind your back. Inhale, reach up with your left hand, so opposite arm to opposite knee. On an exhale, we're going to twist. So you want to think to lift your stomach up and over your thigh. Twist through that upper body, looking over your shoulder. And then you can come through to the center and just take an easy counter twist on the other side. So just opening up. Good, and then from here we'll switch sides. So setting up, same variation you did on the other side. Sitting up nice and tall, finding length. Inhale, reach up with your right arm, and then exhale, elbow to knee. Twist, kind of lifting that stomach up and over that thigh. Looking over your shoulder, getting a neck stretch. Feeling the, should feel nice for your back. And then you can come back through to the center, just taking an easy counter twist, counter stretch, and then optional vinyasa. Optional vinyasa or just any other seated stretch. All right, next we're going to set up for boat pose. So 3 rounds of boat pose. So we're going to sit back, finding a place that you can balance. Reach the arms forward, draw the shoulders back, chest comes forward. So level 1 is to just hover the toes. Level 2 is to keep the feet in front of you, knees bent, thighs in towards you. Level 3, work towards straightening the legs. We're going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, good, 2, 1. You're going to cross with the ankles, come forward and just lift up. And then we're going to sit back down, coming straight into our second boat pose without thinking about it. Energy through the arms, chest comes forward, point the toes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crossing at the ankles, round the shoulder blades, lift up, and then we'll come into our last one. Try to make it your best one. Coming right into it without thinking for 5. Good. 4. Embrace the shakiness. 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to lift up, sit back down, and we're going to do one more variation. This one's more of a stretch. So you can take your peace fingers to your big toes. You're going to sit back. We're going to work towards straightening the legs. So your knees might be bent here, finding your balance, draw your shoulders, lift up through your chest, and then maybe you work towards straightening the knees, drawing the shoulders back, stretching it out here. Yeah. And sometimes it feels good to roll back. So if you want, kind of this is a Pilates move, so taking the legs out, it's just for fun. About halfway, roll back and try to roll forward back into the pose. It's hard. You got it. Yes. All right. Optional vinyasa. So that is an actual Pilates move. They'll do that a few times. Trying to find the like control, the core control and balance. All right, when you come through, we're just going to come into a butterfly stretch. So heels in towards you, feet together. Draw the shoulder blades back. So we're doing two variations. First variation is with a long spine, so hinging forward from your hips, lengthen through your chest as you come forward. 5 deep breaths here. Keep thinking to pull yourself forward. Relax the knees down. And then from here, if you want, you can round the shoulders, round the back, round the forehead, maybe bringing the forearms down. 5 more deep breaths. Good, and then slowly make your way up through an optional vinyasa, or you can just stay here a few more breaths. All right, we're going to set up for a wide-legged forward fold, so taking your feet out wide. Flexing the feet, taking your hands to your inner legs, and then rolling them out so that, because they naturally tend to want to roll in. Make sure you're 6 feet apart, okay? Just kidding. Oh, okay. All right, we're just going to come forward. Here, if you can, taking your peace fingers to your big toes. If not, you can just take your hands to your shins, your ankles. Good. Keeping the chest lifted, the back out long. And then on your next inhale, you can make your way up. All right, and we'll just take the legs together, shake them out, take a drink of water, and then we're going to finish on our back. All right, so we're going to roll down to our back. So we'll use our core to make our way down. So feet in front of you. Inhale, bring your hands forward. Inhale, draw the shoulders back. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your back. So using your core to come down as slow as you can. So core instead of gravity. And then once you're down, reach your arms up overhead. Just stretch it out. And we're going to set up for bridge pose. So you can bring your heels in towards you, bend your knees. Press your palms into the mat, lift the hips up. Interlacing your hands behind your lower back. Maybe walking the arms under the shoulders, keeping the hips up nice and high. Bringing the chin up away from your chest. And then from here, slowly making your way down, starting with your upper back, then middle back, lower back. You can take your feet out wide, drop both knees towards one side, and then back through to the center, both knees to the other side. We'll do that again. And we're going to do one more bridge pose or bridge pose variation. So it's your choice, either just doing the exact same bridge pose, or you can come to a full back bend or full wheel pose. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers facing you, maybe coming on top of your head first and then making your way up. So whenever you're ready, making your way into one of the variations. Lifting forward with your chest. Whenever you're ready to make your way down, making your way back down, taking your time, and then just hugging your knees in towards your chest and doing a few little circles or rocking side to side. From here, we'll keep the right knee in towards our chest, take the left leg out long, hug that knee in nice and tight, and then you're going to straighten the right leg. Hands either behind your thigh or behind the calf or ankle, just gently pulling that leg down towards you. From here, you can bring the forehead up towards the knee to go a little bit deeper. Good, and then you can lower back down, bend that knee back in, and we'll switch sides. So bringing the left knee in towards your chest, straightening the right leg, and then you can straighten the left leg, hands behind your thigh or calf, or working up higher towards your ankle. Then you can bring your forehead up towards your knee, walk your hands up a little bit further. Good. Make your way back down, bending your knee in towards your chest. From here, we're going to set up for fish pose. So you're going to come onto your forearms behind you. So hands kind of underneath your lower back. Elbows under your shoulders. You're going to inhale, lift your hips forward, lift your chest up, and then allow your head to drop back, opening up your throat. So a little back bend, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe kind of like working towards getting your head down towards the mat. And then moving nice and slow, you can lift your head up and then lower back down, move your arms out of the way. All right, so we are going to come into a shoulder stand or waterfall pose. So first option to just bring the feet straight up to the sky and just hold it here in this inversion. If it feels okay for your neck, for your back to come into a shoulder stand, you can come up onto your shoulders, hands behind your lower back to support your lower back, feet up towards the sky, but making sure not to look side to side in this pose because you don't want to strain your neck. You just want to keep the chin towards your chest, looking straight up, looking up towards your feet. From here, you can come into plow pose, so bringing the feet, lowering the feet behind your head, or you can come into a happy baby pose as another option. So if you're in the plow pose, you want to interlace your hands behind your back so you can get up a little bit higher on your shoulder, and you want to think you're on your shoulders and your head. Try not to lie on your neck. So feeling that nice release of your spine. And then from here, bending the knees a little bit more, we're going to slowly lower ourselves back down. Good, and we're going to roll up to a seat. All right, so for our last pose, traditionally it's a headstand. So if you already practice headstand or want to, you can do a headstand. If you don't, you can do like a child's pose or a crow pose or some other, maybe inversion, or maybe just a lying down twist. So as your final pose. So like I said, no need to have to do a headstand, but it's just kind of as an option if you like to do it. I know Diane likes to do it. I like to do it. Yeah, it does take practice.
I was getting there before the car accident.
Were you?
Yes.
Cool. It's such a fun goal to work towards. So if you're in a tripod headstand, you want to squeeze the elbows towards each other, bring the feet together, lift up through the core. Good. And try to hold it there for a few breaths. When you're ready, just make your way into a child's pose. So maybe child's pose variation, hands behind you to release the shoulders, forehead down. All right, and then we are going to make our way into a Shavasana. So just a short Shavasana, or if you prefer, it could even be a seated meditation. We'll just be here 2 to 3 minutes just to complete our practice with some relaxation. From here, let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhale in through our nose. Complete exhale out through your mouth. Let's go ahead and bring our hands to our heart center. We'll take one more deep breath, reaching our arms out and up. Bring your hands together. So either bring your thumbs towards your third eye and your forehead, or you can bring your hands back to your heart center. Take a moment to just kind of remind yourself of that intention you set at the beginning of class. Remind yourself of what you're grateful for. And just allow the positive energy that you feel from class to be of benefit to yourself and the people around you throughout the day. Namaste. All right. Thank you all for coming this morning, getting up nice and early. I know it's not easy.
Every time I get